Alright, this is the United Matters channel, right? And we're here to bring you our second video of the day onto the United Matters channel. I tell you, we are going to be streaming one video and we're going to be recording one. I tell you today, it's going to be 4 videos. And welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's not news to anyone who is really watching in this channel that Olise deal to Man United was obviously off like 2 weeks back, and he has gone ahead to agree a deal with Bayern Munich, 54 million pounds. Sorry, it was 44 million pounds plus 5 million pounds of add-ons. Just 50 million pounds. That was the buyout clause for this guy that we are always told it's going to be really 60, but Bayern Munich knocked it down to 50 million pounds. To me, that would have gone ahead to be an absolute bargain. But United pulled out of the deal of Michael Olise because they had known that his clause can only be triggered by teams that are in the Champions League. And if at all in the Champions League, to negotiate the deal was going to be hard because they would have gone ahead to call in for more money, as they also wanted to keep the player around, and they had often gone ahead to offer him a new contract that he went ahead to obviously reject in a nick of time. And no sooner he rejected it, Bayern Munich kicked in. Chelsea, Newcastle had gone ahead to show interest in him, plus Arsenal, but they also couldn't obviously hijack the deal. So after that deal really falling in through, Manchester United has gone ahead to obviously show us that there is intent to sign another left-footed right attacking midfielder, and he is Conceição, 21-year-old player who plays for FC Porto. Those who watch the Champions League round of 16, that boy went ahead to disturb Arsenal a lot, and he's the reason as to why Arsenal went ahead to obviously have problems that side, and not until the manager brought on Jakub Kiwior to see it that he blocks him that side. But if at all you watch the game of Portugal versus which team did Portugal open up with? I think it's Chechnya, right? Is it Czech Republic, right? Czech Republic. That game ended 2-1, and guess who came off the bench and scored is this guy known as Conceição. There is some connection with him and Eric Ten Hag. I'm gonna be letting you know what the connection is. And welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Rock and David is my name. We are here to talk about Wan Bissaka to Galatasaray. Looks like they've gone ahead to find an agreement with him, and it's now onto Manchester United to come out and really make a decision on whether they sell the player or not. Then we'll also call it quits as we talk about Trippier as he hints onto his failed Manchester United move. I'm going to really bring you up to speed when Manchester United, we are really interested into this guy, because it might be news to some of you who never really followed up on his transfer. But I tell you, Man United had really intent to obviously sign this guy from the side of Atletico Madrid by the time he really decided to go ahead and really play for Newcastle. Let's see close to 300 likes much in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We want to hit 20,000 subscribers, and continue to subscribe. Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Now, a story has been broken by one of the journalists I will respect that coming from Portugal. He goes by the names of Pedro Almeida. He has told us that exclusive Conceição from Porto is a target for Manchester United, and Manchester United club can pay the release clause of 30 million euros for the player. Now, looks like there is a hidden plan to obviously get Anthony out of the view, or clear view, for the club of Manchester United. Let's all admit, because when Manchester United shows intent of bringing in another player, you know, like Conceição, who plays onto the right wing with the left foot, after Amad Diallo has been bracketed as one of those players that is really untouchable, it really means a lot. All really raises questions onto the future of the guy known as Anthony at the club of Manchester United. And it shows you that there is a player who plays on the wing that is going to be really moved on. That is it. Because if it was going to be if it was going to be Ahmad to leave, would have gone ahead to see Ahmad working onto that deal to see to it that him and his agent really move out. But I think there is an agreement in the board of Manchester United that Amad Diallo should obviously be given a chance because of what he went ahead to display towards the end of the season and his work ethicness and really composure onto the ball. Meaning that after missing out on Olise, we've decided to go in for Francisco Conceição. And if at all United is billing to such players, just get to know that there is intent to bring in a right attacking midfielder. That is it. Now, Conceição, 21 years of age, right? He's the player that replaced Anthony at Ajax. You get? He's the player that replaced Anthony at Ajax. The moment I remember doing that news and I told you that, why is you get? Why is it that the side of Ajax have gone ahead to get in a player who plays in the Anthony position and United is not pushing to get in Anthony? You know, that's where I went ahead to base on and really say this guy is really going to be one of the best players, because if he's being brought in to replace Anthony, then there must be something great. Though his first spell at Ajax never went ahead to obviously work on well. He was loaned to John Ajax and then he was sold to Ajax, and then he went back to the side of Porto because that's where he obviously started his career from, meaning that Erik ten Hag had gone ahead to scout this player at Ajax because he came in through the season that Erik ten Hag leaves, 2022, meaning that they had gone ahead to obviously plan for the summer, because for Ajax, they really planned for the summer, like 6 months too. Those 6 months started off from December of 2021, and they are scouting Conceição, and Erik ten Hag was there, meaning that Erik ten Hag knows this player in and out, and he might be of huge interest to really get him in. And the price is really good. The guy is just 30 million euros. That is like 22 million pounds for the club of Manchester United. I think you get him in at the club of Manchester United because of his price and see what he's really going to be offering. If at all United is telling that they're selling Anthony to get in some good money, you know, to obviously finance the deals of these other players, I'll obviously tell you yes, you know, but I don't want us to obviously be blotted into very many players that play in one position and really become a problem to the manager. Because if you keep Anthony, get in Conceição, and you're having Amad Diallo, then how is Erik ten Hag going to really deal with that? I think the best thing to do is either to bring in Conceição and make a decision that I'm going to loan Anthony to a certain club to see to it that he obviously finds back his foot, and then he goes ahead obviously behave very well. There is even Facundo Pellistri, one of those that I admit is going to be sold, and United might be looking to see to it that they really get in some money. If they can get in like 10 million pounds for, I think, Facundo Pellistri, it will be great for the club of Manchester United. And when such business is done, it might pave way for this guy to obviously coming through. Conceição is really a very talented guy. For FC Porto, last season, 27 games in the league, 5 goals and 4 assists. That is the guy, but he got 1 red card and 1 yellow card, you know. In the Champions League, he played 8 games, 1 goal and 1 assist. In the Taka da Liga, 2 matches, and he had 1 goal into the mix. So that is the lad, and I really expect him to obviously be one of those that Man United is looking at hugely to bring in through to see to it that we get in the best of a player. But he's coming in through. If United are really scouting him and want to get him in, that means Anthony and Facundo Pellistri both are going to be leaving the club of Manchester United. If we don't bring in a right attacking midfielder, I admit Manchester United will obviously sell Facundo Pellistri and let Anthony stay. And I think sometimes you feel like, will Anthony perform better when he's really having a competitor like Amad Diallo, and Ten Hag really gets Amad Diallo into the starting 11, and after getting him with the starting 11, then Anthony will come off the bench and really look a better player? That's what we're waiting to see, because we are going to be playing in 4 tournaments, and I think those two will have a lot of time to showcase their goodies to the manager. Maybe Ineos is really looking at keeping him around, and I'm really one of those who don't believe that we should get in a midfielder like that. You all know my stance that let's keep Anthony, let's keep Amad Diallo. If not, if we sell Anthony and Pelestri, let's consider Garnacho a competitor for Rashford and Amad Diallo. And let's get in another player who can play and compete with Marcus Rashford, like Xavi Simons, who can also play as a right winger. So I'm thinking that way. I don't know what your thoughts are about, but I would like Manchester United first to get in a central defender, to get in a right back, to get in a CDM and a center forward. Those 4 players are really important, and I'll always keep mentioning that on a daily, and you might even get fed up of it, but that will be my request and call for United to obviously go for it. And talking in for the right back, why we need in a right back, looks like Wan Bissaka is gonna hit obviously getting suitors, and one of those is Galatasaray, and we've been told by Fanatic from Turkey that Galatasaray has reached an agreement with Wan Bissaka on a 3.5 million year salary. Galatasaray will now negotiate a fee with Man United to complete the deal. So Galatasaray has gone ahead to agree a deal with Wan Bissaka, and those terms have gone ahead to be agreed. To me, it's really exciting because we need to start moving on players. With the player having just 1 year left on his contract, however much I would have gone ahead to call in for £20 million, but that would have gone ahead to be possible if at all an English team was going to sign him, because English players are expensive in the English Premier League because of them being homegrown, and every team will like to be having a plentiful of homegrown players. But if the side of, I repeat, if the side of Galatasaray is coming in through and they're willing to offer us like £10 million, I offload Wan Bissaka immediately, because I don't want to see Erik ten Hag having a burden of players on the preseason that are not part of the plan. Let's move these players on. Let's move them on, and I'm excited that a deal is going to be agreed. And after that, now Galatasaray is really in huge negotiations with Manchester United to get in the player and see how much United will obviously get. We wait and see how the negotiations will go on, but I think it's high time Bissaka really left. I've gone ahead to see some sympathizers on X coming out and saying that Bissaka should be kept at the club of Manchester United, and I'm here asking you, for God's sake, why should we keep Wan Bissaka at the club of Manchester United? Tell me the reason. If you're really competent at what you're saying, you can as well explain to me why Manchester United should obviously keep Wan Bissaka in here. I see no reason. He's not that kind of player that is going to give Diego Dello a go for that position. And I know, however much Diego Dello is 25, hitting his prime, I still believe there is a lot that he has to offer to the team of Manchester United. And to really get that out of him and squeeze it out of him, you have to get in a player, maybe a Frimpong, that can come in through and play into that right back position to see to it that all goes on as planned. And secondly, the plan would have been Manchester United looking in for a central defender who can as well play as a right back. For example, look at Benjamin White at Arsenal. He can play as a right back, he can play as a centre back. Look at Akanji. He can play as a right back, he can play as a centre back. Look at John Stones. You understand? We should look out for those defenders that can play as full-backs and central defenders. That's why I was like, if Everton is calling in for a lot of money, why not go in and hold £50 million and pay them to Sporting Lisbon and get in Goncalo Inacio? Why? Goncalo Inacio can play on the left side of the central defense. He can also play onto the left back position. You understand? And their defenders, like Todibo, though we are missing out on him, he can play as a right back and he can play in the central defense. So I would fancy a defender like that to come and really replace in for the club of Manchester United, because it is money saving. Why? Instead of bringing in a centre back independently and a right back independently, you'll save money for the centre back, for the full back, and obviously make him your and add and top it onto the money you want to bring in a centre back and get in a player who can play in two positions. For example, look at the likes of the Skriniars of this world, and I know there are other defenders that can really do that job very, very well. So that's why I think Man United were so much interested in Pavard, though he went ahead to play for to sign for Inter Milan last season, because Pavard would have gone ahead, obviously, play as a right back and then later be played as a central defender. So I think we should be eyeing for such players at the club of Manchester United. So for me, Wan Bissaka, he's one of those players I want us to sell immediately. He should be leaving the club of Manchester United without further ado. Now we are having a player called Kylian Trippier. He has said to United it was very close after the Euros in 2021, but it didn't happen. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager at the time and everything seemed perfect, and I was very delighted because it was United, the biggest club in the world, but it didn't happen. We all know that when he was playing for Atletico Madrid, there was a lot of interest from the club of Manchester United, and we needed obviously getting a right back to come in through and compete with Wan Bissaka. You remember that very well. And that was like a gateway to United losing a player called Diego Dallo, who was going to obviously really perform really very well at the club of Manchester United. You understand? So I find it hard for the side of Manchester United to be doing such deals, and it would have gone ahead obviously haunt them to late Kylian Trippier, a player who by that time was in his late 20s and is now in his early 30s, to come in through and obviously be brought in the club of Manchester United and really not find a very useful impact in Dallo. And that's why I was very much furious when such deals were being discussed at the club of Manchester United. And I'm one of the most happiest people that this deal never came to pass. Because if it ever came to pass, it would have gone ahead obviously cause us problems. Look at how Dallo is going to become. Right now, if any team wants to take Dallo is like a 60, 70 million pound player. You understand? And Ten Hag is going to obviously improve him and really make him better. Meaning that Dallo was supposed to be the perfect right back for the club of Manchester United, but he lacked a manager to make him what Ten Hag is going to obviously turn him into. So I just get excited. Even if I see him putting in 11 assists for Newcastle season, I'm like, I'm not bothered, mate. My mate, I'm not bothered. I'm not moved by your actions, because I believe that in what we are doing, there is a lot of progress in the team, and we are now having a 25-year-old proving to the world that he's one of the best right backs in the league, and the other one, known as Kylian Trippier, is really in the evening of his season, and they're having an age difference of like 6-7 years, and Dallo might be here for the next 7-8 years. And I think when I tell you I'm excited that it never went to go through and it fell through, you understand my reason of thinking, right? So that is it. So your thoughts on to Mike Olise alternative, new Mike Olise alternative targeted by Manchester United. Obviously, he goes by names of Conceição. You've gone ahead to see him play. He's playing for Portugal. What do you make about him? What are your thoughts about Conceição? Then, Wan Bissaka. Deal agreed in between him and Galatasaray. And there is something important to note about it. United has to agree a deal. And at what price do you think United should sell Wan Bissaka at? And lastly, Kylian Trippier. Would you have want us to sign him at Manchester United in 2021 when he was crossing from Atletico Madrid to come and join Newcastle? All that and more into the comment section below. Rock and David remains my name. And don't forget to subscribe. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful YouTube channel of ours that goes by the names of United Matters channel. Second video of the day, I'm returning with a live video to obviously have a chat with you, the viewers of this channel, and I love you endlessly and continue to spread love to see to it that all goes on well. I believe that we might be having a huge announcement in this coming week between the 24th, right? And today, between the 24th and 30th of June, I anticipate that we might get a here we go from Fabrizio Romano, all an agreement agreed from David Austin for a player that is going to be coming in through at the club of Manchester United. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. Happy week. Bye-bye.